Hello my dears, and welcome to my channel. As always, I am very happy and grateful that you've chosen to spend your time with me and supporting my channel. Really easy. Like the video, leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't, and click on the notification bell. And I hope that you're all doing well, but if not, I do hope things will get better for you soon. But in the meantime, join me in meeting Soulflower Plant Spirit Oracle. And this deck was created by Lisa Estabrook, and it was published by Finehorn Press, released March 29th of 2022, and at that time it retailed for $30. And the box itself, it's a rather large box, 7.5 height across is 5 inches, and the width is 1.25. And I'm happy to say that it has the title on the top, and it does also have it on the sides. Even though it doesn't have it on the bottom, I'm just glad it has it on one of the sides, because I stack my deck like this and put it on top of it instead of doing it this way, because I own I really haven't counted how many decks I own, but I do own a lot. Let's just say that. So I like to stack them like that to save room. Alright, so this is a magnetic box, and when you open up you get this lovely little illustration, and it comes with the guidebook, and we will explore this guidebook. It is a pretty thick guidebook. I like thick guidebooks. Okay, so as you can see, unfortunately the card holder does not do its job. Yeah, a lot of the times, for whatever reason, I don't think they test these card holders out after they put the cards in the card holder, and I don't think that they really figure that these cards are going to expand and not be in there very, very snug. They're gonna eventually change shape. They're gonna be bendy and not exactly the original shape. And there's no ribbon, so you pretty much have to pour them out. And if you get really tired of the card holder and want to do something else with the cards, or just not even bother with the card holder, it is removable, so you can take that thing out if you really, really want to. Okay. So the cards themselves, of course, with most oracle cards, are larger than your tarot deck. So this is a standard tarot card. As you can see, I got the measurements on it, and so you can see it is bigger. So that gives you kind of a visual, because I need visuals myself. So the cards themselves are 5.5 height, across is 3.5, and the width is a little over a 1/2 inch. Okay, and on the back, I don't know if you'll use reversals with this deck. You may, if you choose to, but as you can see, they all have different colors. It's kind of the same background, but different colors to it. And I couldn't find out the reason why they chose to do this to the backs of them. I thought at first it was like seasonal, like summer, spring, winter, and fall, but maybe blue is winter and spring is the light green, fall. I don't know. If you own this deck and you know why they are these colors, drop it in the comment below. And if you know if Lisa has come out with another deck, I wasn't able to find that she came out with another deck. If you find out she does, put it in the comment below, and I would really like to check it out, because I like this deck. Alright, so basically you get an illustration. It looks like it's hand drawn, and then you get the title of the plant and a keyword for describing its essence, I guess is the best way I can put it. And then it gives you a little bit of meaning of what hawthorn represents. And there's no scientific knowledge from these cards. It doesn't have the scientific name. It, you know, doesn't really describe hawthorn other than giving you a, you know, what it could represent. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and do a flip through. And these are not in original order because I'm lazy. And I used this deck a few times and I was just too lazy to put them in alphabetical order. So, but I did group them in the different colors, so I at least did that. All right, so we'll just go ahead and do a flip through, and so you guys can see what the cards are about. And I do believe that this would be a good introduction deck to the plants. If you're interested in learning more about the plants, you could pick one and journal it. It'd be a good journal card. And you could like try and draw. I can't draw for crap. I envy people who are creative like that. I'm too impatient, and if it doesn't come out the first time, I just give up and kind of go ah. So I really envy people who are artists. Also, you could also grow these plants to kind of help you feel what they mean, what they represent. So there's quite a few ways that you can use this deck. And I thought it would be a good deck for this time of the year because flowers are blooming. And I do apologize if there is some distracting noise in the background. I have my window open and I live next to a major highway, so it can be busy. Hopefully it doesn't bother you too much. And that is the deck. Okay, so the cardstock is good. It's a little on the thickish side, but it's still flexy bendy. It's not cracking, and yeah, it's pretty durable. So, all right, let's go ahead and check out this guidebook. All right, so we have this lovely illustration, and we have the content page, and the cards meanings are alphabetized, which is great. And we have a preface from Lisa, and you can pause and read that if you're interested in it. And then we have My Sacred Why. And this is the introduction. And basically, she just talks about herself and her background. And it is a little lengthy. It's about 3 pages, and you can pause and read that. And goes into the background of creating it, and what she wants and hopes to offer you with the deck. Then we go to chapter 1, Tending the Garden of Your Soul. And it just talks about Mother Earth in this one, and what she represents and what she's all about and everything. And then we go on to, if I can open up the page, chapter 2, Starting with the Soil. And this is a little, how can I explain it? Just going into like how we're connected to the environment, and the wisdom of the earth. Then we go into chapter 3, which is Planting Seeds, which is the early spring and new moon. And it coincides with the season, because you are basically, during the new moon and spring, you are putting your seeds down, you're planning things out, you're journaling, you're the astrology year starts in the spring. So it basically goes with, she's pairing it with the seasons and the moon, and starting with the soil is anytime, and this one is early spring, new moon. So it's a seasonal thing as well as the moonology. Then you have supporting growth, which happens in the spring after you've planted your seeds. Now you are supporting its growth, and this is where you basically work on whatever you're trying to grow. It could be an actual garden, or it could be an idea that you're trying to bring forth in the world. A new business, a new relationship, just anything that you want to work on. And we have the spring and the waxing moon. Then we have blooming, which is summer, and the full moon, where basically everything is coming forth and sprouting and so on and so forth. And then we have the garden cleanup, which is autumn, and the waxing moon. And this is when, of course, you notice that the plants are starting to basically go into hibernation mode, I guess is the best way to put it. And then we have rest and renewal with winter and the dark moon. So it just goes into talking about that period of time. And then we have this nice little illustration that kind of expands on it and what you can do during those different seasons. And then we go into chapter 5, which is plant spirits, and she just talks about those for a chapter. Then cultivating a daily practice, sacred gardening. And this is just where you can do a daily practice with the deck. Different things you can do, and things you can do before you start the practice. You don't have to do a daily practice if you don't want to. It's totally optional. But she just basically gives you ideas on reading, how to do a reading, and things you can pay attention to. And then we have affirmations. Then we go into the actual cards and the Soulflower plant spirits. And we get the card and the keyword. And I do believe in the guidebook you get the scientific name, if I'm not mistaken. You get the scientific name for the plant. And then you get the meaning at the bottom. And then basically just goes into some information about the plant. As you can see. And then you get an affirmation that sums up the plant's essence. I guess that's the best way to put it. Yeah, so that's basically the rest of the book. Yeah, it's just, oh, got a ripped one. I did buy this deck used, by the way. But yeah, it's okay. I mean, I can kind of wing it if I have to, even though it's a little torn. I don't mind to buy a used deck that has a little things wrong with it. I'm okay with it. Okay, and then we have about the author, and then she has her socials. All right, so let's go ahead and shuffling. These if you have long fingers and big hands, this deck should be okay with you, but I do not have either one of those, so it's a struggle to do the rifle or poker shuffle. And there's no right or wrong way to do shuffling. Overhand works best for me, so I will use that. You can also do side shuffle, because the side shuffle works better when the cards are wider and you can get a better grip on it. But I'm not a fan of the side shuffle. You can also cut the cards. It basically just boils down to what you're physically able to and what you want to do. Fanning, you can fan this kind of. You can kind of fan them out on your table, or you could just, spread them and pick them one by one. If you have something wrong with your arm, you can just spread them over the table and pick them that way. Or if you have a, broken hand or something like that, and you can't shuffle. I mean, there's always ways that you can get around your issue for shuffling. Alright, so let's go ahead and see what plant wants to pop up and give us a message. Zinnia, light-heartedness. Zinnia encourages spontaneity and just plain silliness in order to help bridge the gap between responsible adult and innocent child. Allow yourself to rediscover your joyful, playful inner child. Open your heart and your imagination and allow yourself to dream. The world is your oyster and anything is possible. Well, those are kind of pretty plants. All right, let's see what we have for the extended. Okay. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the scientific name because I'm going to butcher it and I don't want to do that to your ears. So the affirmation is, I remember that my imagination and my dream are waiting for me to play with them. That's cute. All right, so what is more delightful than a sea of nodding zinnia faces swaying in the breeze? If you listen carefully, you can almost hear them giggling. In a world that is filled with weighty work obligations and no nonsense duty, she is reminding us to not be so serious and responsible all the time. Like a beautiful breath of fresh air, zinnia shows up when we need to take a break from the business of adulting. We are conditioned early on in life that play is for children, and we had better wise up and get serious or face uncertain future and failure. Feeling our emotions, allowing the energy of them to move through us, comes naturally when we are children. When a child experiences a difficulty or a challenge, they let their anger rip and their tears flow, gently supported by the adults around them. They easily move through these feelings and in a short time move on to something new, with old issues long forgotten. Holding on to your anger, your failures, your disappointments, and bottling them up is something learned, something imposed on us when we were small, so that we didn't create a scene or make others feel uncomfortable. The problem is that these energies just get stored in our bodies, in our muscle memory, and in the recesses of our mind. They pop up in our dreams or nightmares and the aches and pains of adulthood. We slip into victimhood and poverty consciousness as they muddle up our zest for life. Zinnia reminds us of the power of play. It is said that through play, learning and growth occurs only after a few repetitions. Hard work is just that, hard. It takes a lot of energy and effort to learn something new, to change old behaviors, and to create life-affirming joy in your life. If we want to experience the world anew, we must allow our curiosity and imagination to lead the way. Not everything is understandable, explainable, or even visible. A child understands this playful magic. Living a life of joy is our birthright, but it requires that we suspend our adult need for everything to be explained and ordered, logical and understandable. Open your heart and mind and engage with your imagination. The world is your playground. What delights your silly side? Aw, well, that's a very nice message. 'Cause I'm sure some people need to hear that. All right, so that is basically all I have for this lovely deck. And let me know what you think about it. And if you own it, kind of let us know what you think about it. And if you did purchase it after seeing my video, let me know. I'm always interested in if I helped you discover a new deck, because it's always exciting getting a new deck. It's like kid in a candy shop kind of experience. But once again, thank you so much for spending your time with me, and I hope that you will join me in a future video. My next video, I did not even know this deck existed, but yeah, Tarot of Baseball. So this is going to be the next video, so subscribe so you won't miss out. I have a lot of unusual decks that I have picked up where I couldn't resist it. But anyway, until next time, take care and goodbye, my dears.